here, and today we are doing something super crazy. We are making the stinkiest, the raunchiest catfish bait ever, and I'm using my wife's blender. Now luckily she's not home today, otherwise she would murder us for this. But we've got some fermented shad guts and chicken livers and... Wait, do you hear that?
Yeah.
Mom's home! Yeah. We're dead! We gotta get out of here! Alright, gotta get out of here. Alright, we need food.
Hey guys, I'm home. What's that smell? Ugh. Luke, Nathan, where are you guys? Ugh, ugh, ugh.
Well, things are a little hot back at the Nichols house, and it's going to be a couple days before they blow over. Now, we can't use any credit cards or go to a hotel because Becca can track that. So we're going to go off the grid for a couple days. And to do that, we got to use just what's in our bug out kits. We need to disguise our footprints so Becca can't track us. All right, let's go. Just a few more miles. All right, guys, we finally found a good hiding place. We were here on a little floodplain by the river. Becca will never think to look for us here, but the downside is it's a bit swampy. The ground here is really muddy. See here, it's really wet. And we don't have a tent in our bug out bag, and we don't have sleeping pads either. So we gotta find a way to stay warm, stay dry, and stay out of the mud because it's gonna get down in the 20s tonight. It was raining pretty good this morning, so everything's pretty wet. So I'm trying to find a bit of dryish ground. All right, I guess this is as good a spot as any. It's muddy, so we're gonna have to figure out some way to deal with that mud or it's just not gonna work. I know a lot of you guys are wondering, why are you sleeping in a mud hill? But that's just what we got. This is the spot we have available to us. And that's the thing, you got to learn to adapt. So we're going to give that a go. Well, it's been raining for the last 2 days and everything is wet. The mud is just wet, the wood is wet, and right now it's in the 40s. It's not so bad, but the wind's kicking up. It's supposed to get about 15-mile-per-hour winds from the north and push in a lot of cold air, and it's going to get down into the 20s with a high in the low 30s tomorrow. Hold on. Well, during this camp out, I'm also going to do a review of some survival shovels, and I'm going to try them all out and see what works and what doesn't work. Garden shovel. All right, so I got all the mucky clay scraped off and down to relatively drier stuff. This would be a terrible idea if we were expecting any rain because it would just become a swimming pool. But we aren't expecting any rain, and so hopefully this will work out. I've got a little fire pit there with a little heat reflector, which is designed to reflect some of the fire's heat back towards us. And since it's covered in clay, hopefully it won't catch on fire. A lot of wood heat reflectors do that. And we got just a little bit of a berm here on the sides, which I'm hoping will help keep the wind out. But we don't have a lot of thin little pieces of timber to cut down and lash together. We've got tons and tons of dead wood. So I think we're going to build something that looks a little bit more like a beaver lodge and less like a lean-to. A lot of these survival shovels claim you can use them as axe, but this one works the best by far. What do you think so far, bud? Is this cool? That one's your favorite?
Yeah. And this one's my favorite, and this one's my favorite.
Yeah. This right here is my kama. It's a Japanese hatchet I bought in Kyoto this summer, and it's just razor sharp. I'm really enjoying it. Look at this. It's nice.
This one's not long.
What about this one?
Yeah, I want this.
Originally I had a cross piece in between these two forked sticks, and I was going to have like a slanted roof, but I was thinking it's going to let too much air flow in between the walls and the roof, too much of a gap. And so instead, I think what I'm going to do is just build the roof straight onto these walls, and then the roof will be quite low to the ground, and I think that'll help conserve the heat, you know, keep it warmer in there a little bit better. And then I need to also get some smaller sticks and some mud and fill up all the gaps in the walls here. There you go. Well, the sun's setting and Nathan's getting a little cold and hungry, so we're gonna go and start a fire here with my flint and steel and see how that goes. These are just ordinary cotton balls. No Vaseline or anything on them, just cotton balls. Well, the real trick with this is you got to build the fire up and get the heat into the shelter without getting all the smoke. So hopefully we've built it right. We'll give it a kind of a test run here and see if it works. Well, this is really our first time doing this type of camping. I've done a lot of snow cave camping up in Alaska, but I've never done this. So I'm kind of curious to see how it goes, but that fire sure is nice. It actually radiates quite a bit of heat into the shelter, and the shelter blocks the wind and kind of traps the heat. But I'll tell you what though, this clay is super cold, and all the heat in me is just getting sucked into the clay. So I've got to figure out something to insulate us, otherwise we're gonna freeze sitting on this icy cold clay. Love you, buddy.
Love you, Daddy.
Nathan, are you hungry?
Yeah.
I'm super hungry, so I think we need to do some cooking here. Oh my goodness, does that look good?
Yeah.
That looks pretty good. Just gonna keep this thing moving around. Well, this rump roast is looking pretty good and it's getting all juicy, but I think Nathan just really wants to cook hot dogs. I might be overthinking this. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, let's get you a hot dog stick.
My head out.
Here, let me see your hood. Right there. Why don't you spin your hot dog?
I want to spin my hot dog.
Yeah, see,
Spin.
Good job. Good job. Just spin it every once in a while. Doesn't it? You don't have to always spin it. So look at this. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm spinning it too. This is really nice. Just sitting by a fire with my boy, cooking some food and doing some camping. I just wish Tommy was here. Wait, do you hear something?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Tommy. Tommy, buddy, you made it, man. Hey, Tommy, I'm glad to see you, man, but why are you here?
Well, it's because my mom found a raccoon in the house.
Did you put the raccoon in the house?
Yeah. It wasn't poisonous. It was nice.
Wait, Tom. Did anyone follow you? Were you followed?
No.
Were you followed?
No.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure Mother can't find us?
Yeah. Yeah. Also,
Oh, Becca, I love you so much. I missed you. I've missed you so much. You are a wonderful wife. And you love me so much.
Daddy,
I do love you. I missed you too.
Daddy,
And I never kicked you out of the house.
I was never at the house. I've been camping the whole time. Hey, I got hot dogs.
Great.
Nathan, do you want a bun?
No.
Jacob, you having fun? You like camping? Yeah.
It's joy for me again, and I'm just gonna sit here with our boy.
What do you think, babe?
Looks great.
can I have a hot dog? I'm hungry.
Sure, buddy. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Here, we got some garlic bread. There we go.
Oh my.
There you go, babe.
Thank you.
Let's try that out. Then it's not supposed to rain. There we go. Oh, that's looking good. Just keep shaving pieces off. All right, guys, you ready for some marshmallows? Well, how about this? You guys want to get snuggled up and me just hand them to you when they're cooked? What happened to that other marshmallow stick? All righty. You got that?
Help. Go over me.
There you go. Well, we had a lovely meal, but it's getting properly cold now. And Tommy and Rebecca and Jacob all went home. And it's just me and Nathan now. Nathan, you excited to do winter camping?
Yeah.
But first, I'm going to bust out some of these adhesive hand warmers. And I'm going to put a bunch of these on Nathan, so he's plenty warm. We're not monkeying around with this. Let me see. I'm going to go one like that. Scoot on in the green one.
But it's too.
It'll warm up, trust me. Trust me, it'll get super warm. You'll be extra warm in this. All right. Yeah, there we go. There you go, bud. Stay warm. Well, we're getting all settled in for a good night's rest, but we need a lot of wood if we're gonna stay warm. So I gotta go gather a lot more wood. These fires take a ton. And if you want a good way of estimating how much wood you need, just remember when you put a 2-inch diameter log on the fire, it's only going to last 1 hour. Okay, so about 2 inches of diameter per hour is consumed in the fire. Well, there we go, pretty healthy pile of firewood there. Hopefully that'll last us till morning. Well, we've got our firewood, we've got a lovely fire. My boy is snuggled up and warm, having a good time. I think this calls for a little hot chocolate before bed.
Hot. Daddy, I'm going to fall asleep.
You're gonna fall asleep?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am sleepy.
So one of the things I've kind of noticed that's great about the heat reflector is it acts as a windbreak and keeps the wind from blowing sparks and smoke back into the shelter. Well, it's about 10 o'clock and so far the weather hasn't been too bad. The fire's roaring and we're nice and toasty in here and we're dressed to the nines, but it's time to go to bed, and so I'll see if I can't get some sleep before I have to stoke the fire again. I just woke up with ice in my hair and the fire started going out. Still very, very sweaty hot, but I figured, hey, if I'm up, I might as well go ahead and fix it. Not even cold, I'm just doing this to keep the fire going, but I'm going back to bed. Well, I'm figuring out what I need to do is have long pieces of wood sitting here within arm's reach of my sleeping bag that I can go and shove into the fire without getting out of bed. Well, I didn't use as much of my fire last night as I thought I would, and didn't have to stoke the fire as much as I thought I would. I really only had to get up twice, and then I woke up 2 other times and just poked the fire with a stick and shoved stuff in. But it is really just cold right now, and it is so nice in bed. I've stoked up the fire and we get it extra hot, and once it's warm, then I'll wake up Nathan. Good morning, Nathan. You know, a nice slab of coffee cake in the morning is not too bad. Do you like camping, Nathan? Mm-hmm. I'm glad you went camping with me. This is fun. Did you stay warm last night?
Yeah.
Good. Oh yeah. All right, we'll let that warm back up, and then I'll have myself some breakfast steak. Oh.
Maybe it's going to poop in front of me and just me. Is that the... No. Daddy.
Oh, good. Well, I told you I'd do a survival shovel review, and so I used all 4 of these shovels here on this trip. And definitely there's some clear winners and losers. If you want a shovel that's light and that just works really well for digging, this little garden shovel, which really isn't a survival shovel at all, is absolutely the best. It's the lightest of these 4. It's the easiest to dig with of these 4, and it just works really well. If you want one that folds up small, the little SOG foldable shovel absolutely is the smallest, and it's got the little pickaxe feature. So the problem with both of these is you just can't use them unless you're really short or you get down on your knees. Now this shovel right here is some no-name brand Chinese model. It's pretty cheap. I think I paid 19 bucks for it, and it's got the handle that unscrews, and all these little sections unscrew, and it folds down into a very tight little package. It's got the pickaxe feature just like the SOG. I mean, it weighs about as much as the other 3 shovels put together. This one also has an edge for sawing and for cutting, but it's pretty dull. It also comes with like a little knife blade and a bottle opener and some other stuff that just seems completely pointless. If you want a shovel to put in your Jeep or put in your boat, and weight's not an issue, get this one. It's the cheapest, it works well, and it's got a lot of little features. If you want to go out, you know, hiking or something, or camping, and weight's an issue, and you just want a shovel, hands down, this is it. I mean, this is the best shovel, period. And it's the lightest. If size is really important, then get this. If you like to chop things and you don't really need a very effective shovel, get this. I think the most expensive one here is this one at $35. So they're all relatively cheap, but I'll put links in the description to each one of these shovels, and take a look at them, and hopefully this was helpful. Well, we had a great time, and we stayed a lot warmer than I thought we would. It just worked out really well, and I'm glad we did it, and we just had a ball. Yeah, I think maybe things have blown over. We can, it's probably safe to go back home, right? Well, it's sad to do it, but I got to pull the shelter down and try to put things back the way they were. Whew, it's going to be a lot of work. Well, I just need to take the shovel, fill in this hole a little bit, and we're done. Did you have fun? Good.
I love you. But you need a bath.
I sure do. If you like this video, don't forget to check out the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, where we have hundreds of videos just like this. And don't forget to click subscribe so you can see other great videos every Saturday morning, and hit that bell button so you'll get notifications. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe. it.